Introduced in the year 2009 by a group of anonymous people, this particular cryptocurrency called as Bitcoins is in headlines today. If you are someone who is a Bitcoin holder, then definitely this is going to be a good news for you because the value of Bitcoin has now increased to 1 lakh US dollars today. So this is something which is a major, shift that is happening in current times where we can see this type of digital transactions shaping the way or transforming the way of financial transactions that we make. So it is expected that this particular Bitcoin is going to reach about 1 million US dollars by the year 2030. So what do you think what is going to happen? And we have so many factors to consider behind this particular achievement. Especially we can see the value of Bitcoins just doubled in this particular year 2024 alone. And in the last 4 weeks, the value of Bitcoins literally went up by 45%. So if you are someone who is thinking to invest in Bitcoins, and then this video is for you because we are going to analyze how the current trend is with respect to Bitcoins and what are the factors, what did the US especially do that made this achievement possible for this particular cryptocurrency. But before we begin, let's try to understand what is meant by Bitcoin shortly. So this particular Bitcoin is nothing but a digital form of currency that is used for purchasing goods and services, that is used for making any anonymous transactions, which is very difficult for anyone to, track and record. So it is again free from any third party regulations. So you can make any anonymous transactions without letting the government know about it. So this is why Bitcoin is very interesting and many people are using Bitcoins. So let's try to understand how these Bitcoins are different from the currencies that we normally use for purchasing goods and services. It is a digital currency, which means it is not physical, it is digital. It is created using computer. So it is created using computer and it is stored in computer. It is stored in the digital wallet and you have to make use of that while making transactions, unlike the other currencies that we use, which is physical and digital. And second thing is it is decentralized and this is centralized. That is, we have the currencies of India getting backed by the government of India, and it is also regulated by both the government and the central banks. But unlike this type of currencies, the cryptocurrencies are not regulated by any particular central authority. That is why we say that it is decentralized. So it is not under the regulation of any particular authority. There is no such authority to control and govern these cryptocurrencies. So that is why we say it is decentralized and you can make transactions in such a way that it is not getting monitored by the government or it is not getting monitored by any third party entity. And third thing, it is a secure transaction. Why? Because this digital currencies, especially the cryptocurrencies, are using the blockchain technology, where we make use of the cryptography technology so as to secure each and every transaction. Once the transaction is made, it will be stored as a block in the computer in such a way that it cannot be read by any other people, or it is very difficult for anyone to just go and modify the transaction. So that is why we say this transaction is quite secure in nature when compared with the other transactions that we normally use with respect to other currencies. And talking about the stability, it is quite volatile in nature and it is also limited. Okay, so why it is volatile? Because the value of the Bitcoins is again going to be dependent upon the demand and supply of the Bitcoins, and especially the speculations around the Bitcoins. So that is why we say Bitcoins are volatile in nature. And the other thing is, unlike the physical currency that we have in India, this particular Bitcoin supply is limited. So it is not something unlimited. Bitcoins are not created in unlimited scale. It is limited. As of now, we will have only 21 millions of Bitcoins. So this is the maximum level up to which we can create Bitcoins. Again, why it is done? so as to make it scarce and hence have the demand for the bitcoins. So if it is created in unlimited scale, then it means it will again lose its value, right? So in order to keep its value intact, the supply of bitcoins is limited. So these are the main differences that you have to know between the bitcoins and the normal currencies. And talking about whether the bitcoins are legal or illegal, certain countries have declared that the bitcoins are, that is any form of cryptocurrencies, or not legal, and they've actually banned the transactions. It includes country like China, but we also have countries like US, UK and Canada, which actually approved the use of bitcoins and made the transactions legal. Okay, so again it depends upon the country's decisions to decide whether they have to permit this type of cryptocurrencies or not, considering the other economic factors. We will come back to the status of India at the end of this discussion, but before that, let's have a look at different types of cryptocurrencies that you can see when it comes to the most renowned types of cryptocurrencies. That is, we have bitcoins, we have ethereum, we have dogecoin. So these are quite famous and mostly renowned types of cryptocurrencies. Let's get back to the news now. So we see that this particular bitcoin has reached all-time high of about 1 lakh US dollar after the Donald Trump's crypto push. So what has actually happened in the United States, and why do we see so much of demand for these cryptocurrencies right after the electoral result of United States presidential election? So what is the main reason? It is mainly because of the pro crypto stance of Donald Trump, and he has already taken some measures in that direction. We can also see that he literally gave this particular thing, the crypto push, as one of his propagandas during the electoral campaigns, right? So it is widely expected that his administration will create some type of conducive environment so as to support these cryptocurrencies. And we can also see that these types of plans are already in the list, that is to create a national Bitcoin reserve, under which the United States government is planning to purchase 1 million Bitcoins in next 5 years. So this is going to be a significant push. Just imagine, this is about 5% of the total Bitcoins in supply. So this is again going to give a significant push and boost to the investors also, right? And apart from this, we also have Crypto Advisory Council in the plan list. And in June 2024, United States Treasury and Internal Reserve Service is already came up with a proper regulatory framework so as to standardize the ways in which the digital assets transactions are getting recorded in the country. So this type of clear regulatory framework is the main reason for having so much of institutional adoptions towards this cryptocurrencies in recent times. Why? It is because the cryptocurrencies are actually having certain concerns regarding to lack of clear regulatory framework in the countries, regarding its security as well. Why? Because sometimes cryptocurrencies can also be subjected to theft, right? But some measures taken in these directions, like coming out with a clear cut of regulatory framework saying what I'm going to do with my cryptocurrencies in my country, and especially because of having some services, like we also have this service like coin-based custody. So it is a service offered by crypto exchange which enables the investors to securely store their bitcoins in the digital wallet, right? So with these type of services coming in, we can see so much of institutional adoptions taking place in recent times. And we also saw that United States Security and Exchange Commission recently approved bitcoins and ethereum exchange traded funds. So this was a very significant move, and that has already drawn so much of millions of dollars of investments into the bitcoins. So these are some of the recent instances that actually triggered and led to the spike of bitcoins in recent times. Moving forward from here, let's try to see some of the facts that this is the recent traded value of the bitcoins, which is 2.2% higher than the previous one. And we can see more than $4 billion of bitcoins, streamed into the United States exchange traded funds alone. And if you see this graph, after the downfall in the year 2012, the value of bitcoins gradually increased, and in the last 1 month or in the last 45 days, you can see the major spike that has happened with respect to the value of the bitcoins. So this is how the graph is currently going on. So what do you think is going to happen to the future of the digital currencies and the bitcoins? We can see the values, getting increased. And if you are a Bitcoin holder, then definitely this is the right time for you to, enlarge your base in the Bitcoins and the cryptocurrencies. And in addition to this Bitcoins, we can also see some of the other cryptocurrencies like Dogecoin, etc., witnessing some spike in its value because of the similar reasons. Okay. So what is the status of cryptocurrency in India? India, although did not make cryptocurrency transactions illegal, the cryptocurrency transactions are not getting pushed by the government of India. It is skeptical of the nature that this particular technology will enable anonymous transaction, and that is why, although we attempted to make it illegal when the Central Board of Direct Taxes in the year 2018, submitted a report to the government of India to declare all the transactions illegal, and the RBI also issued notice to the banks to refrain from such transactions. Supreme Court reversed the order in 2020, right? So following which we do not make it illegal, but still the government is quite skeptical and hence imposed 30% tax on all these types of transactions. So that is why this is not something a big deal for the investors as far as India is concerned, who is not that enthusiastic right now as the investors in US are. So this is all for today from my side. So before I end, I have a very big announcement to make. That is, now you can avail your UPSC CSC subscription just for rupees 1,200 per month. And if at all you are going to attempt 2026, this is the right time for you. Why? Because we are going to have the batches getting launched not just for your GS but also for your optional courses as well. So you can use my referral code RIYA50 to get further subscription. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to UPSC Warriors channel, please subscribe. Thank you and take care.